Hello, my name is Jordan, and welcome back to episode 12 of my survival let's play. In today's episode, we're going to be destroying things whilst talking about random things, whether that be accents or bids. So, let's get on with it. The interesting thing about accents has always been to me is you never know that you have an accent until you meet someone with a different accent. And that's pretty obvious. And even in countries, there can be variations. Like in America, you have various states and different accents per state, or even different accents in different parts of a state. It's quite crazy the variety we have. But mainly it comes down to how we pronounce words, and that's basically it. Also, the kind of the tone, and it's very interesting to say the least. I've never personally had a problem with mine until recently. Not necessarily saying I have a problem with my own accent, it's more I've been made more aware of it, especially with talking to a lot of Americans. There's the whole bid meme kind of thing, which is fine. It is what it is. It just always intrigues me because obviously to me they're very different in terms of their voice. I'm more used to my own accent. Even then though, my accent is still unique because my voice is unique and so on. Whether that be good for bad, presuming we don't all want to sound the same. Or do you? I don't know, that's the question. The whole bid and thing actually originates from the creator Toycat, pointing that out in an earlier video, and ever since we've seen the endurance of that just increase as it went from more people to more. Honestly, the number one Jarden meme used to be Luke abuse, but I would say bid has definitely taken over, and that is disappointing. I want to see more Luke abuse, so yes, you know what to do. And the next topic, I think, is I haven't made a Let's Play for a while. And that's mainly because I've either been away or busy with things or not had the motivation or reason or purpose. And even in this episode, it's not the most happy episode as it's not what I originally planned because I didn't have much time to put this together. But in this episode, we do achieve a lot technically in terms of gameplay as well as crappy commentary. As you can see, I'm destroying a ton of sand. I think I've done a lot more Let's Play related things in streams, and that's fine. But I definitely want to make the return of Let's Play episodes when I can, as this is my favourite series, and it's the most personal, and I think not unique, because Let's Plays are definitely not unique, but technically my Let's Play is unique because of my voice and world, and that's all. Nothing else, really. I do try to combine different styles of inspirations I see as well. I also think the next thing is collaborations have been a lot more present in the last few months, and I think that's been good for the channel as a whole in terms of statistics, and I think it's a good thing for me as well as a person. I do love recording with Jake and Ho, but I do want to assure anyone who just comes here for me, which would be very weird. I still primarily am going to focus on solo content because that's what I want to make the most, and I guess it's because I have control. Not that I don't enjoy making the other stuff with other people, because that's also great, but I think there needs to be balance in everything, whether it be good or bad for my channel. To be honest, lately, I think in terms of statistics, my channel's been doing really badly, but that doesn't matter because, you know what, we'll keep posting random stuff and hope for the best. Also, another topic is Forsaken Lands. As many of you have seen, that was one of my bigger flops, and I wouldn't say it's all on me, but I did create it, and I'm the one behind it, so I want to talk about that a bit more. I think what was interesting is S&Ps. They've always been quite an appealing concept, especially with the rise of things like the Dream S&P, or older ones, if you could even call them S&Ps, they technically are, like Hermitcraft. As a lot of us do, we want that same kind of thing, because in the videos or content or streams it looks very enjoyable, so we try to replicate that in a way, which is kind of what my goal was. And now we're out of the time lapse and this is a bit further on, but yeah. Anyway, I think the demise of Forsaken Lands was I went away for a month, basically leaving the server dead. Not many people were interested in this, fair enough. Minecraft itself can get boring after a bit, or you have your own projects. Forsaken Lands is not over forever. I think I eventually want to plan to make it come back and better than ever with the same world. I'm not going to pot a date on that because it's probably going to be ages. But I'm glad to share the times we had because there were some good experiences. And it's just best to take the best out of the best situations, I guess. Or any situation in general. I am not an optimist by any means, but sometimes it's a better reflection on the world to look like that. Otherwise, you will, fall under the death that is life. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making even any sense to any of you. But anyway, as I like to move through topics today, it seems, it's hard to constantly keep on a topic when you think about it too much. Like, I've already thought about it, but it's hard to go on about it because I've already went on it about too much. But you guys haven't seen that, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, I think one of the best things that I've discussed multiple times on this channel is long-term projects, and recently we finished one. I'm not saying I'll never go back to it to improve it, but the Crimson Cavern was finally done, which was honestly a very good feeling to have something like, boom, I want to show that off, I want to show people, I was actually happy with it. I received a lot of positive comments, especially on Reddit. I even gained some criticism, some English that I agree with. See, my pronunciation is crap, but that's okay, we can all improve. I think it's good to hear criticism, especially, because how else are you going to improve? I think it's always interesting seeing what people comment on YouTube, especially, because, posting hate comments doesn't really achieve anything. Like, if you really dislike someone's content, or you want someone's content to improve, why do you send them death threats? Why do you send death threats in general? That's quite weird. If you're going to send death threats, at least enact on it. That was a joke. Don't do that. Unless you really want to. Okay, I need to leave that certain topic. As you can see here, I never do things in the most efficient or effective way, but I do try, and that's okay. I know in terms of gameplay this episode is pretty boring as we're just destroying things, but anyway, on with my commentary. Another thing that's coming soon, I guess, well not soon, is Toycat has recently released the map Hexed, which, as some of us know, Adorable Ho worked on a lot of, so definitely want to play that map again. I've already been a part of a stream with him and Jake, where I mainly just swore for like 2 hours, and it was great. But I'm going to be doing a completion video on that. Probably it'll come out in a few months, because it's going to take ages to edit and complete. And I'm going away again, probably, and things like that. Which happen in life because I'm not a YouTuber, really. I'm just a guy who occasionally posts random videos to an audience who sometimes likes them, I presume, because they keep watching. Anyway, so that's another video. I also meant to do this when I got back to my setup, was I found a lot of old footage for the Let's Play. The survival world, in terms of stuff from like 5 years ago. So the next episode is going to be reflecting on the past as I show bits of old footage and compare what has happened with time. And we talk about how change is good, but we all fear it anyway. That's the next episode. Yet again, I'm not going to promise a date on anything because that could be a while. I've also got videos I'm scripting that I haven't done any work on ages because I need to do work for other things. But that is life for me. I think one of my biggest issues, and one of the things I want to fix, is procrastination. And it's very easy to get into because it's so much nicer to be like, hey, that homework that's stressing me out, why not do it? And leave it to the last minute. That's not a good thing. But it does feel great at the time. Well, it doesn't feel great, but it's definitely a way out and a cycle I've gotten into. I don't really have any tips or solutions to that. That was just more a factual statement. The more you know, I guess. I think also the thing with this series is very chaotic, and it's also a lot of my testing area in terms of what videos I can release in what style. As the Let's Play episodes, the thumbnails, the titles have all changed, the actual content of the videos, the way I record these videos, it's always changing. And change is good, but yeah. Also, I nearly just died to that Vindicator, because I was too focused on digging the desert. The problem with recording this in like one take is at a certain point I'm going to stop speaking as clearly and directly, so I'm going to make mistakes in the words, but I guess that's more for you guys to laugh at and me to suffer. Also, speaking of suffering, we are 8 subscribers currently away from me having to sing, so it's a fun thing. That could eventually happen, I don't know. We were at 93 a few weeks ago, but we lost a few, which is fine, because I think people do lose taste in things or decide not to, and I think it's a good thing. If you're subscribed to here and you enjoy the content, stay, but if you genuinely don't enjoy it, unsubscribe, and also that stops me from singing, so you're really helping me out, but you're really not at the same time. I'm very conflicting, I've realised. I like to make things... There's never a win-win situation for me. I have to lose in some way, apparently. And that's by my own decree. Anyway, I keep repeating a lot of words, and I think it's quite a common pattern we all have as well. Because we get into patterns, literally, and rhythms, and we stick with them. It's the same with the accents. Because a lot of the words I know I'm pronouncing wrong, well, wrong is subjective, depending on the country or anything. Wrong being subjective is always interesting. I guess the last topic I'm going to cover is what have I been doing in my real life, because I don't have a vlog series, and I didn't steal this from Toycat, but I did. I don't share too much details about my personal life on this channel, for good reason, because it's my life, and it's not something to be like, I'm alive, there you go, that sums it up. But lately, I've been getting back into one of my things that I was obsessed with as a child, which is the Harry Potter series, which I know a lot of people are going to be like, I don't want to hear about that, but you decided to watch this episode, but I guess it was probably titled along the lines of destroying a desert, so who knows what you were expecting. But yeah, nostalgia definitely has a lot of the effect on me, because I don't think the books are the masterpieces a lot of people claim. I do really enjoy them. The only masterpiece to me is Lord of the Rings, but, you know, that's subjective, but I'm probably right, because, you know, opinions on the internet, they don't exist. There's only one right answer to everything. Politics and things. I am joking, of course. But it's definitely been enjoyable, and it's been good to get back into reading again, which I think is one of the more good things for your brain, supposedly. Do we really know what's good for us as humans? Because we seem to experiment and then realize like a century later, oh no, that was detrimental. I think the thing in life also is you need a balance of everything. Like, there's no perfect diet. The best diet you can have is balance. And that's the same with life. The ego analogy. Balancing things. But balancing things is hard. Like, when do I do the study? When do I actually have the will to live and be happy? You know, where do you find the time? Where do you balance these things? And that's a question I pondered to you, audience. How do you manage your time? And how do you manage it effectively? Because it's different for everyone. And especially if you're wasting a lot of time. But wasting your time is also subjective, because I think everything is subjective to a degree. Even though people disagree with me, but there again, that's their opinion. They're entitled to their opinion. Everyone's going to have different opinions on everything, and I think that's a great thing. But the way we handle these opinions is definitely not. In case of, I think a great reference is wars. Most wars are over race and religion, which is bullshit, but it is what it is, apparently. Like, imagine killing someone because they don't believe in your god. I'm not saying that's the motivation behind all wars. There's a lot of different reasons, whether it be assassinations, but we don't need to get into history. Because I think the one thing from history is one we can reflect and learn from it. I also think that's true to our own lives. We want to look back, we want to improve, and we want to change for the better. Unless you really don't, which would be a weird thing, but, you know, change is generally conceived as good at some point, and I keep hinting that throughout this episode for some reason. But yeah, I think also another thing, as a human, we are all flawed, and that's okay. You're allowed to be flawed, but it doesn't entitle you to be an arsehole. And that's a quote for you. Anyway, audience, that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. I know it was more of like a commentary one, and I talked about a multitude of topics from surprisingly not genocide, but we talked about a bit of Harry Potter, a bit of other things. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing if you did enjoy the video. I don't know when the next video or stream will be. It could be a week, it could be 2 weeks. Time is relative to the beholder. Let's hope. Anyway, adios.